Every time I think feminism can't get more insane, stuff like this gets said.
What do you think right now about how so many people are not having babies? I think the myth of maternal instinct, which was created by a man and has no scientific basis, has had a profoundly kind of depressing, awful, nasty impact on especially women.
Not that much on men, I guess, especially women. Isn't that crazy to say that maternal instinct affects especially women? Since we are talking about crazy, if you're watching, not just listening, there is no life behind those eyes. So my best guess is she's really happy.
I really do. I mean, I picture people in a room one day saying, like, if we could convince women that being a mom comes naturally, like, that would be really good for us. Because then when parenting's hard, women will just blame themselves and they'll have shame. And when you have shame, you don't speak up for your needs.
This woman, Dr. Becky, has a PhD in clinical psychology from Columbia and was named by Time magazine to be the millennial parenting whisperer. What? Because nothing says, go millennials, you'll be great parents, like telling women motherhood cannot possibly come naturally to you. It was oppressively shoved down your throat by a man. I truly cannot begin to wrap my head around how someone with a PhD is trying to coherently make the argument that there is no scientific basis for motherhood coming naturally to women. I just had a baby almost 8 weeks ago to the day, and this gal is exhausted, clearly. She was up for 3 days straight dealing with contractions and giving birth, and pretty much hasn't slept since then, if we're being honest. If I could go back and tell her 8 weeks ago to the day anything, it would be how unbelievably shocking and amazing it is how much of this comes naturally. That, God willing, your body will know exactly what to do when it comes to feeding your baby, that you will leap out of bed with an adrenaline rush at 2 a.m. no matter how tired you are to make sure your baby's okay when she cries. That you'll start figuring out instinctively when she's crying what she needs in that moment, and that you will never feel an immediate bond with another human being quite like looking into your daughter's eyes for the first time. I'm assuming this doctor is trying to somehow convince women that they are victimized by maternal instincts and the urge to want to have children. The only victimization I'm seeing here is when angry, miserable feminists try to shame you somehow for doing the most natural, beautiful, God-given things in the world. I don't get it. I really don't.
I'm sure you do. You said it yourself. Miserable, older, sad, pathetic women try to convince everyone else that they did make the right choice when they know they didn't. After years of lying to millions of women and convincing them that motherhood is a mistake, one of the icons of feminism admitted finally in her own book that she was in fact lying. She knew she was lying, but she had an agenda to push. Now that she finally admits the truth, she's saying that she mourns her unborn babies or that she still has pregnancy dreams. And as always, oh no, you make your own bed, you're gonna sleep in it.
Something very strange is happening and we have to discuss this. I've just read this article and I am a little bit disturbed. So conservatism is on the rise. So like trad wife life, fashion is kind of following suit. Places like Pretty Little Thing are now selling like beige potato sack clothes and calling it old money aesthetic. All the while we have this like huge orange child running one of the most powerful countries in the world. So it kind of feels like politics and fashion and popular culture are starting to sort of merge into one. In this article, they spoke about a magazine called Evie. It seems to be very 2000, like how to get skinny, tips for your hubby, like very millennial trauma-esque. You know what I didn't see any of on this site that's telling women how to be like the best little woman that you can be? Careers. Nothing about powerful women in business, nothing about like women in the corporate world, nothing about how to give yourself the life that you want rather than like this Kool-Aid that Lana Del Rey has clearly drunk. And this is terrifying. Women for years have had to fight for a seat at the table, for respect in the corporate world, for salary equality, like every tiny thing that women have been fighting for, which still isn't there, but thought was improving, seems to be being shut down. Like, is this really what we're pushing now? Is this where we're going? Like high neckline, traditional, be as quiet, small and tiny and perfect as you can. Don't worry about your career. Your value lies in how you look and what you wear and what you do and how happy your significant other is. That is horrifying. It's a really good article and I do think that you should have a read. We should all have the right to do whatever the we want. If you want to look after the kids, you should look after the kids. If you want to run a multi-billion-pound business and be a badass bitch, then you can do that too. Like, everyone should just be able to do whatever they want and not be pushed towards this traditional, very old school, get in your lane, stay in your place value. And women do really amazing shit in business. So I want to know what you guys think about this, because to me, this sounds like absolute torture.
And you do have the choice to not go through it. Many women are doing amazing Asian business, because the only argument you seem to push against a more traditional life is careers. And that's absolutely fine, but when everyone's experience is different, it's like trying to push poverty on a billionaire. He's not gonna take your word he's gonna be happier in poverty because he lives that other experience. The majority of people don't have careers. The majority of people have jobs. And when presented with another option, they're gonna take that option. Sometimes even people with careers will take the other option. And yes, it's usually women after they reach a certain age looking at some other options.
So lately I've had some comments from men that tell me women who choose divorce later regret this decision. I would like to hear from women directly. If you are a woman who chose divorce, I would like to know, do you regret this decision? Because the women that I work with, the women that I help, they are not telling me that they later regret this decision, but men are. So I want to hear directly from the women who chose divorce. Do you regret this decision? Please comment and let me know.
Yeah, asking the women on TikTok is always a good idea, and you're gonna get the truth, obviously. I wonder if any of those hundreds of women that I've posted crying they got divorced and they regret it will comment on her video. Yeah, probably not, right?
Australian men are so bad to go out with because they don't like women. No, they like men. They like men. Why do you think they don't have a romantic bone in their body, but they're always touching up their friends and impressing their mates? One time I was dating this guy, and on Valentine's Day, he said, I would get you a rose, but it would render me broke, so... But on the weekend, he was getting up with his friends at the pub, and think about how much money he spent that weekend. These men live to impress their male friends and not their women. It's giving gay.
Question for the men. So if I invited you over, and I was wearing this, and I made you a full American breakfast, and I asked you if you wanted to stay and watch Lord of the Rings extended cut, would you be staying or leaving?
Well, I wouldn't be leaving before I had that American breakfast, because that would be rude. But it all depends, because that movie is almost 4 hours long. Will you be charging me for a session, which is usually for an hour, or do I have to pay 4 times the price? On second thought, I'll eat and leave, just because I am polite like that.
Men are so much nicer to me when I'm wearing my contacts, not glasses, have makeup on, and wearing dresses.
The universe will not let what's meant for you pass you by. It also will not let you settle for less than what you deserve.
There's only one kind of straight relationship dynamic that works. And this is my professional opinion. Yeah, I'm gonna flex my useless gender studies degree, okay? And that is a dynamic where the man is the more patient, tolerant, and obsessed person in the relationship. Anything else is doomed. My own straight relationship is a testament to this. And that is simply because of the way the odds are stacked in the society that we live in. I don't make the rules, I'm just observing them. Look at any healthy, long-term straight relationship that you know of and tell me that this is not the dynamic.
I really don't care. But speaking of observing stuff, do you guys think there's a connection between gender studies and nose rings? I thought I knew for sure there is one in between gender studies and blue hair, but I think there's one with the nose rings. At least it seems to be one, doesn't it?
I was supposed to go on a date on Friday and he canceled on me the day before. He said he was going out of town. So I immediately unmatched him. And here's why. Number one, I'm 28, dating with intention, and I have boundaries. Number two, it instantly gave me flaky energy and it was such a turn off. My man is not going to be flaky. No. Number three, I didn't give him the benefit of the doubt just because of how the message was sent. You guys, this man owes me nothing, but if he handled it like this, it would have been a little bit different. If he was like, I'm so sorry, something came up and I have to go out of town, but I would love to reschedule. What does your schedule look like next week? I would not have unmatched him. Now, I can't remember exactly what he said because I unmatched him immediately. It was something along the lines of, sorry, I can't tomorrow. I'm actually going out of town, but hopefully we could do this sometime soon. There's no question. There was no, can we reschedule? So I'm like, okay, bye. To me, I'm just not vibing with it anymore. Like there was no directness in rescheduling it. And I'm like, but that's on boundaries. Not putting up with flaky men who don't know how to communicate and reschedule something.
Oh, would you look at that? What a shock this is. Not only that he doesn't think like a woman, but he doesn't think exactly like this wonderful lady. No worry guys, she has boundaries. It seems he does too, but she wins. Whatever that may be, she won. Hey, she won. Anyway, I'm done for today. I do hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and I will see you in the next one.